Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to look yourself in the mirror and ask, what am I really made of? Not what your circumstances say you're made of, not what people have told you you're made of, but what you know deep down inside you're made of. The truth is, you're stronger than you think, but you've been letting your weak feelings hold you back. It's time to kill those feelings. It's time to rise above. I know life is tough. We all go through it. Some days you're on top of the world, and some days it feels like the world is on top of you. But you know what? Those moments, those feelings of doubt, fear, insecurity, those are nothing but distractions. They're lies. And I'm telling you right now, it's time to stop listening to them. You've got greatness inside of you. Don't you dare let anything or anyone convince you otherwise. We all face those moments when it feels easier to quit, to throw in the towel and say, I've had enough. But let me tell you something, those moments are the ones that define you. When everything's pushing you down, that's when you show who you really are. That's when you dig deep, when you fight for what's yours. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work even when no one's watching. It's about pushing through the pain, the fatigue, the doubt, because at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to stop you from reaching your full potential is your own weak feelings. You don't have time to sit around and feel sorry for yourself. You don't have time to entertain doubt. You have work to do. You've got goals to reach. There's a purpose waiting for you, but you can't find it if you keep letting your weak feelings run the show. You need to step up and take control. This world doesn't wait for anybody, and neither should you. So today I want you to make a decision to not let fear, regret, or failure be the boss of you. A decision to push forward no matter how hard it gets. A decision to look your weak feelings dead in the eye and tell them, I'm not afraid of you. You have no power over me. It's time to kill those weak feelings because you're stronger than them. You're stronger than any challenge that's in front of you. And when you finally step up and start moving in the direction of your greatness, you'll look back and realize those weak feelings were never the problem you were. But once you take control, there's no limit to what you can achieve. So get up, stand tall, and go after it. Weak feelings such as fear, self-doubt, insecurity, and uncertainty are often seen as part of the human experience, but they are also some of the greatest obstacles we face in life. These feelings can cripple us if we let them. They sneak in when we are most vulnerable, feeding us thoughts that undermine our potential. You're not good enough, you'll never make it, this is too hard, but here's the truth, these feelings are not you. They are merely distractions designed to keep you from stepping into your greatness. Recognizing them for what they are is the first step in breaking free. These feelings are not signs of who you are, they're simply signals that you're on the verge of something bigger, something greater than you ever imagined. They show up when you're close to a breakthrough, trying to keep you from pushing forward, from reaching that next level. When you start feeling those weak emotions creeping in, it's easy to believe they're the truth. But what if, instead of accepting them, you chose to challenge them? What if you saw them for what they really are, just temporary roadblocks in your path to success? The problem is that most of us don't challenge them enough. Instead, we allow them to shape our reality, to dictate our actions, and to decide what we're capable of. The truth is, we have a choice. We can choose to listen to the weak feelings, or we can choose to ignore them, to keep moving forward, and to trust that we are capable of far more than those feelings suggest. The real challenge comes when we acknowledge that these feelings are just a part of our mental landscape, but they are not permanent. Every time you experience fear or doubt, recognize that they are simply signals of growth. They arise when you're about to push yourself into new territory, when you're about to level up in some area of your life. You see, growth doesn't come from staying comfortable. It comes from stepping into the unknown, from challenging yourself, from putting yourself out there even when it's hard, even when you're not sure you'll succeed. And each time you push through those weak feelings, you become stronger. You build resilience, confidence, and character. What you must understand is that those feelings are not an accurate reflection of your true capabilities. They are nothing more than temporary emotional responses to difficult situations. When you choose to take action despite them, you're telling yourself and the world that you are not controlled by your emotions. Instead, you are controlled by your decisions. And each decision you make, each time you act in the face of fear, doubt, or uncertainty becomes a small victory. Over time, those small victories compound, and before you know it, you have built a mindset that is unstoppable. If you really want to achieve something great, you have to stop giving power to the weak feelings that try to hold you back. They're just noise distracting you from your mission. Every moment you waste listening to them is a moment you could have spent moving forward. It's time to take responsibility for your emotions and refuse to let them dictate your path. Step up. Face those weak feelings head on and prove to yourself that they are no match for your strength, your commitment, and your willpower. When you stop allowing these feelings to control you, that's when you'll start to see the real power that lies within you. Weak feelings like fear, doubt, insecurity, and hesitation are part of every person's life, but they don't have to dictate the course of your journey. They are natural responses to discomfort, the unknown, or moments of vulnerability. However, they are not inherent truths about who you are or what you can achieve. They are simply reactions, temporary emotional states that arise when you're pushing your limits or facing something new. And here's the thing: most people, instead of facing these feelings, choose to give in to them. They allow fear to make their decisions for them, or they let doubt stop them from taking the next step. They let these weak feelings hold them back from their true potential. And in doing so, they live their lives confined by a mindset that convinces them that their limits are real. But the reality is that weak feelings are often illusions, products of our own minds. They are not permanent, and they are not indicative of our abilities. These feelings may show up when we're about to take a leap, whether that's starting something new, making a big decision, or confronting a challenge, but they only have as much power as we allow them to have. The first step in overcoming these weak feelings is to recognize them for what they are. They are simply emotional reactions to the discomfort of growth. Fear doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're stretching yourself. Doubt doesn't mean you're incapable, it means you're questioning whether you're ready to step up. Insecurity doesn't mean you're not good enough, it means you're growing into a new version of yourself, one that's unfamiliar and challenging. These feelings are just signals, not truths. They are not permanent markers of who you are, and they should never be allowed to hold you back from achieving what you're capable of. The key is not to ignore them, but to face them head on and continue to push forward despite them. What often happens when we experience these weak feelings is that we become consumed by them. We give them space to grow in our minds. We ruminate on them, focus on them, and even let them determine what we do or don't do. But when you choose to act in spite of your feelings, you begin to break their hold over you. Every time you step forward in the face of fear, every time you push through doubt or insecurity, you are strengthening your mental resilience. It's like training a muscle. The more you push through these weak feelings, the stronger you become at overcoming them. You start to develop a mindset that isn't swayed by temporary emotions. You become someone who knows that feelings don't control actions, decisions do. When you decide that you will not be held back by fear, doubt, or insecurity, you start to reclaim control of your life. You stop being a prisoner to your own mind. When you begin to take control of these feelings, you create new habits that push you toward growth and success. You stop waiting for the perfect moment when you feel fearless or confident. Instead, you take action in spite of the fear. You make decisions in spite of the self-doubt. You move forward even when insecurity whispers in your ear, telling you that you're not enough. The truth is, the only way to eliminate weak feelings is to act anyway. The more you act, the less control those feelings have over you. And as you continue to take steps towards your goals, you'll notice that the weak feelings gradually lose their power. They'll still show up, but they won't stop you. They'll become background noise to your unstoppable forward momentum. Every successful person has faced fear, doubt, and insecurity. The difference is that they didn't let those feelings define them. They saw them for what they were: temporary obstacles that, when faced, would make them stronger. And they kept moving. They knew that weakness was not in the feelings themselves, but in how we choose to respond to them. So it's not about eliminating fear or doubt altogether. It's about not allowing them to take control of your actions. It's about stepping up even when you feel weak and proving to yourself that you are stronger than any feeling that tries to hold you back. Weak feelings like fear, self-doubt, and insecurity have an incredible ability to stop us in our tracks. They show up when we're faced with challenges, when we're pushing ourselves towards something bigger, when we take a leap into the unknown. These feelings often arise when we're standing on the threshold of growth, right before we're about to make a change or step into a new phase of life. And they are powerful. They can convince us that we're not ready, that we're not good enough, or that failure is inevitable. But what we fail to realize is that these feelings, as strong and as real as they may seem, are not truths. They are merely emotions, temporary responses to discomfort or change. They have no power over us unless we allow them to. The mistake most people make is that they believe these feelings are an accurate reflection of their abilities. They think, I'm scared because I'm not capable, or I'm insecure because I'm not worthy. But those feelings are not a reflection of who you are. They are simply emotional reactions to the unknown. Every time you face something that challenges you or forces you to step out of your comfort zone, these weak feelings will show up. They are simply the mind's way of trying to protect you from perceived danger, even though there is no actual threat. What you need to understand is that fear, doubt, and insecurity are not signs that you are incapable. They are signs that you are growing, that you are pushing your boundaries and stepping into new territory. One of the most important things you can do in those moments is recognize the weak feelings for what they are: temporary roadblocks in your path. Fear is not an indication that you can't do something, it's an indication that you're doing something that matters. Insecurity isn't a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of the fact that you're about to challenge yourself, and that's uncomfortable. Self-doubt doesn't mean you're not good enough, it means you're questioning the status quo and contemplating change. The more you learn to recognize these feelings as part of the process, the less power they will have over you. They become just another hurdle to overcome, not an immovable barrier. The real power lies in how you respond to these feelings. You can either let them control you, or you can push through them and move forward despite them. The more you choose to act in spite of fear or self-doubt, the more you prove to yourself that these emotions don't have to dictate your choices. Every time you push past them, you build mental strength, you develop resilience, you start to trust yourself more because you've seen that you can take action even when it's uncomfortable. Over time, you create a new pattern of behavior that reinforces the belief that you are not controlled by your feelings. You don't wait for the fear to subside or for the doubt to disappear, you act anyway, and in doing so, you create your own momentum. The key to overcoming weak feelings is not to suppress them, but to keep moving forward regardless of them. It's about recognizing that your emotions do not determine your actions, that you have the power to choose how you respond. When you do this, you start to see that the more you face fear, the less it holds you back. The more you take action in the face of doubt, the less doubt controls you. The more you challenge your insecurities, the more confident you become. Weak feelings are just part of the human experience, and while they may never fully disappear, they no longer have to control you. They will always be there, but with each step you take in spite of them, you train your mind to move forward regardless of how you feel. You train yourself to act on your purpose, your goals, and your dreams, not on your feelings. And over time, you'll realize that the weak feelings that once held you back are the very things that pushed you forward. Weak feelings like fear, self-doubt, insecurity, and anxiety are a part of the human experience. They creep in when you're about to take a step forward, when you're about to face a challenge, or when you're about to make a bold move. They show up when you're pushing yourself into new territory or aiming for something bigger than you've ever done before. And while these feelings are completely normal, the problem arises when you start to believe them, when you allow them to dictate your actions and control your decisions. The truth is, these feelings are not real indicators of your worth or your potential. They are simply emotional responses to discomfort and change. But if you let them, they will convince you that you are not enough, that you're not capable, and that it's better to stay in your comfort zone than to risk failure. And every time you let these feelings rule you, you let go of your power to move forward. These weak feelings often disguise themselves as wisdom, but they are nothing more than distractions. Fear might tell you you're not ready for this, or what if you fail? Doubt might whisper you don't have what it takes. Insecurity might shout, what if you're not good enough? But these voices, though loud, are rooted in past experiences, unexamined beliefs, and the desire to avoid discomfort. They don't reflect the truth of who you are or the full extent of your potential. In fact, the more you listen to them, the more you allow them to shape your reality. The more you believe in them, the more they hold you back from taking the actions that will lead to success. But here's the thing, those feelings are temporary. They are not permanent. They come and go, but they will always be there, trying to keep you stuck in your current circumstances. If you allow them to, they'll keep you from reaching the greatness that's just on the other side of your fear. What if you could start seeing those weak feelings differently? What if, instead of seeing them as roadblocks, you saw them as signals that you're on the right track? Fear, doubt, and insecurity are often the first signs that you are about to do something significant, something that will push you toward growth. They show up when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, when you're challenging yourself to rise above the ordinary. The more you confront them, the stronger you become. The more you take action despite those feelings, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. And the more you prove this to yourself, the more your confidence grows. Over time, you begin to see these feelings for what they really are, just temporary emotional responses to change. They don't define you, and they certainly don't control you. The key is to stop waiting for the fear to disappear or for the doubt to fade before you act. The truth is, you may never feel 100% ready. You may never feel completely confident, but that doesn't mean you're not capable. It just means you're in the process of growth, and that process is always uncomfortable. The most successful people, the ones who have truly achieved greatness, are not the ones who never experienced fear or doubt. They are the ones who took action in spite of them. They didn't wait for permission or for the perfect moment. They moved forward because they understood that the only way to overcome weakness is by stepping into it. Each time you act in spite of fear, each time you make a decision in the face of doubt, each time you push through insecurity, you develop a stronger, more resilient mindset. You begin to realize that you are capable of handling discomfort and uncertainty, and that every time you push past it, you are inching closer to your goals. These weak feelings will continue to show up. They will always be there when you're about to take on something new or stretch yourself beyond what you thought was possible. But the more you confront them, the more you will realize that they don't control you. They don't define you. And with each step you take, you will find that you are stronger than you ever imagined. Weak feelings are only powerful if you give them power. If you choose to face them, to rise above them, and to continue moving forward despite them, you'll find that the greatest obstacle you ever had to overcome was not the fear, the doubt, or the insecurity. It was your own belief that they could stop you. Weak feelings such as fear, self-doubt, insecurity, and uncertainty are universal experiences that everyone encounters at some point in their lives. They are powerful emotions that can stop you in your tracks if you let them. They come to the surface when you're about to take a risk, when you're venturing into new territory, or when you're about to step out of your comfort zone. In these moments, they make you question your abilities, your worth, and your capacity for success. They convince you that you're not ready, that you don't have enough experience, or that you might fail. These feelings, while intense, are not accurate reflections of who you are or what you're capable of. In fact, they are often the very things that signal that you are on the cusp of something great. The problem is that too many people allow these weak feelings to control their actions. They let fear paralyze them, let doubt keep them stagnant, and let insecurity prevent them from moving forward. The longer you allow these feelings to dominate, the more they become your reality and the further away your potential gets. The truth is, these feelings are simply emotional responses to change or challenge. They are not permanent, they come and go. They do not define your identity or your abilities. But when you believe in them and allow them to shape your decisions, you create a cycle of inaction that keeps you stuck. The key is learning to recognize these emotions for what they are: temporary obstacles that arise when you are about to do something important. They are often a sign that you are stretching beyond your current boundaries, that you are moving toward a higher level of growth. Fear arises when you step into the unknown, when you're about to take a chance on something bigger than what you've done before. Doubt surfaces when you're about to test your own limits, when you're unsure if you can reach the heights you set for yourself. Insecurity arises when you push against your own self-imposed limitations, when you're challenging your sense of worth or place in the world. These feelings are natural, but they are not a reflection of your true capabilities. They are a sign that you're on the edge of growth, that you're about to expand your potential. What happens to most people when they encounter these feelings is that they let them stop them in their tracks. They believe the stories their minds are telling them, stories of failure, inadequacy, and fear. But the key to overcoming these weak feelings is to take action anyway, even when you don't feel ready, even when you're uncertain, and even when fear is screaming in your ear. You don't need to wait for the feelings to go away. You don't need to feel fearless or fully confident to take the next step. The key is to act in spite of the fear, doubt, and insecurity. The more you do this, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming these feelings, and the more you realize that they are nothing more than temporary barriers that can be moved through. You begin to shift your mindset from being controlled by your emotions to taking control of your actions despite them. Every successful person you admire has felt fear, doubt, and insecurity. They didn't overcome these feelings by waiting for them to disappear. They overcame them by acting in spite of them. They understood that the most important thing wasn't the absence of fear, but the ability to take action despite it. The more you practice this, the more you build resilience. The more you face your fears and act anyway, the stronger you become at pushing through them. With each step you take, you chip away at the power that fear, doubt, and insecurity hold over you. They no longer control your decisions. You are no longer at the mercy of your emotions. Instead, you become the one in control of your journey because you understand that the true enemy isn't fear or doubt, it's inaction. The key to success is not to eliminate fear, but to embrace it as part of the growth process. Fear is a natural reaction to change, and instead of allowing it to hold you back, use it as a signal that you are about to do something important. Let it propel you forward. Doubt isn't a reflection of your abilities, it's a signal that you are pushing beyond your comfort zone. It's a sign that you are capable of more than you think. The key is to keep moving despite it. With every step forward, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than any temporary feeling that arises. And the more you push through, the more you develop a mindset that takes action regardless of how you feel. These weak feelings may never fully disappear, but their hold over you will weaken with every step you take. In the end, it's not the feelings that matter, it's your decision to keep moving forward no matter what.